So Gas Network presents sports for the culture.
I'm here with the family.
Bryce XXV, double I.
Rome.
C Malo.
Bro Flying.
T-Buggy, man.
Just the greatest sports show on the planet. La Familia. Hope y'all ready for a ride.
Can't wait to hear what you guys got to say. We back. Your favorite sports show, the best sports show on the planet. Gas presents sports for the culture. I'm tonight's host at Bryce XXV double I. As always, joined by the dream team. Let's start with the bottom right. Introduce yourself, sir.
And if it looks like I got into a fight, I ain't getting into a fight, man. My dirty ass nephews, man, gave me the fucking pink eye. He's fucking around with these kids, man. I'm sick. Dirty ass kids, man.
Okay.
I'm about to punch
Sure,
them.
that's how you got pink eye, G. Sure, that's how
Yeah. Blaming it on the
No,
kids is dirty work, G.
nephews. Yeah. Maybe on the nephews, huh?
No, I'm not smelling ass. I am not that kind of kinky dude. Fuck out of here.
And that's how we started it off tonight.
Yeah, it's gonna be a wild one. It's gonna be a wild one. Bottom left, introduce yourself.
Yeah, man, you know who it is, boy. Young Rome 22 on all socials as always, man. Hey, it's gonna be a good show tonight, man. We got a lot to talk about. I, for one, can't wait to get into this Cam Newton conversation a little bit later. Some wild stuff happening down there at the 7-on-7.
Yeah, buddy. We definitely gonna get into that. Top right, introduce yourself.
T-Boogie, man. Wash your hands, wash your ass. That'll also prevent the spread of pink eye.
Literally.
I didn't even know a grown man could get pink eye. I figured we all built up an immunity by now, but maybe not. Hey, I'm ready. I'm ready to have a good show, man. It's almost AAU season 4. It's a lot of topics we're gonna get into, man. Let's have a good time, fellas. Let's get it.
Bro, what's wrong with you, man? I didn't know a grown man could get pink eye. That's crazy. I didn't know that either. I ain't gonna lie. That does seem like a real childish,
Like chicken pox,
real childish infection.
wingworms, chicken pox, pink eye,
Just the bullshit.
poison ivy.
Well, you can't say that. Poison ivy, anybody can still get that shit.
Yeah, but that's a little kid thing. Getting your tonsils taken out, you know what I'm saying? Oh, that shit is for kids, man.
Yeah, man.
All right, let's get into it though. Rome brought it up, man. I say we jump right into the Cam thing. I knew we were before the show started. We had a long discussion about steroids, and I wish we would have took it live. But Cam was looking like he was on steroids over the weekend, bro. Let's get into it, man. Cam Newton, bro. You know he's big into the 7-on-7 scene, right? And I believe that's in Atlanta, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got his own league down there.
Yeah, man, which is awesome, bro, because like Cam Newton does not have to do that. Like, let's be clear, bro. Like, one of the best quarterbacks in recent history, and he is one of the best quarterbacks in recent history. He doesn't have to do that, bro. Like, he doesn't have to be in Atlanta with the kids showing that type of love, bro. But clearly he does it because he enjoys it, man. He enjoys those interactions, right? And there are people that enjoy those type of spirited interactions, right? Like a lot of us to this day play in sports leagues because like you need some place to get that competitiveness out of you, right? And it seems like that's what Cam Newton does, bro. He's getting competitive. So like I want to start with this question. Like, why do you all think that situation happens, right? Because this isn't the first time we've seen Cam Newton going at it with some folks at his 7-on-7 in his 7-on-7 games. So you know what I'm saying? Like, why does this happen? Explain it away, bro. Explain it away. T, I'll start with you.
I'm a good one for this, man. Shameless plug. My son won 7-on-7 in this area last year. But what I will say about the 7-on-7 culture, it's the closest thing in football you have to street ball, like Rucker Park basketball. So it's like 7-on-7 is a lot of trash talking. The kids might wear pajama pants. It's a lot of, at the older ages, people wearing mics. The kids call it clipping you up, like kids are clipping each other. So I make a great play, I'm clipping you. I'm throwing that on my TikTok. I'm throwing that on my IG. I'm throwing that on my team's Instagram or whatever. So, and that extends to the culture of the coaches, and the community. So it's a very hip hop inspired, trash, toxic. So you get a lot of those back and forths and real chippy. And you would hope that the adults would be the line, right? Because kids will be kids. But from what I've seen, the adults encourage it. And if you guys have played sports, right, you know that there's the coach that is, we got to do it the right way. We do it by the book. And then there's the coach that's like, hey man, we ball. Like we go out there and we get in somebody, you know what I'm saying? We put in that work. 7-on-7 is the coaches that are, hey, we getting out there, we whooping their ass. In fact, that TSP team, top sports performance, top performance sports,
okay,
top sports performance, right?
Yeah.
Their shirts, like that they warm up in and walk around with, say this shit personal. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got high school kids with profanity on their shirts. So that's the culture we live in. So I saw people saying, and I'm about to wrap this up, that Peyton Manning and Eli Manning and those guys wouldn't have been jumped on, right? That's a totally different environment. Totally different environment. Much more structured, much more by the book. When you get out there with that Cam 7-on-7 and a lot of these urban teams, like, bro, it's in your face and it's trash talk. So I do believe Cam Newton was talking trash. I do believe those other coaches were talking trash. I do believe there's probably a rivalry there, but it should never got to fighting. So I really think it just bad blood and testosterone spilled over and Superman looked like Superman.
Nah, facts, yo. And like in this era that we live in, bro, where like if somebody gets like, for example, dog, you know, if somebody gets embarrassed, they don't show up again, right? The dunk contest is a perfect example, right? Nobody want to do the dunk contest because everyone's scared to go out there and look like some trash. You know what I'm saying? Or scared to go out there and lose, right? Or there's so many other things. Like I'm drawing blanks right now, but there's so many other things that like these days athletes specifically don't want to do, and people in general don't want to do out of fear of embarrassment, right? So I want to give Cam Newton a shout out, bro, because like, dog, he done had multiple embarrassments. Like someone on Cam's stature, bro, like they might not be major embarrassments, but for a lot of people, it could be reasons to never come back to that 7-on-7 shit. Right, you know what I'm saying? When them kids was wilding on the first 7-8 times, a lot of fools would have been like, bruh, I'm not helping y'all little kids. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not messing with y'all no more. Like, so shout out to Cam for like, you know, not letting that deter him. I hope this don't deter him. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, look, that big shout out to Cam, Bryce. I got to piggyback off what you're saying right quick. Because to be clear, a lot of good QBs have come to his camp. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but I do believe there was a point in time Justin Fields was involved with Cam's camp. It's not just like it's necessarily, and you know, I mean, I know it's kids, but for lack of a better term, it's not like it's necessarily scrubs. Like they got some talented kids, some talented players showing up to the 7-on-7. And to T's point, when you have a lot of talent and you have this spirited competition, especially in 7-on-7, which is very much structured like you know, for lack of a better term, street ball for football, then you're going to get a lot of trash talking. Add in the fact that you have Cam Newton, where there's NFL film of highlights of him talking trash in NFL games to NFL players on the other side of the field. So you know this man is definitely wilding out on whatever team he's coaching, hyping up. Bryce even already pointed it out. We've seen him get into it with the kids, so he's not backing down from nobody. Anybody can get the smoke. And from what I've seen or heard, the two coaches got on another podcast and tried to explain what happened. And basically, it sounded like everybody was just talking trash. They got in Cam's face. Cam said something along the lines of "I made y'all niggas," and then handled them, as you can see in the viral video that was floating around. So it's unfortunate that they got to fighting. I mean, you never want to see that, especially when it's, you know, kids involved in the 7-on-7 games. But to T's point, man, it's definitely part of the culture. It's definitely part of football. I think for some people, this will blemish Cam Newton even more. They'll be like, "Oh, Cam Newton, the ghetto quarterback." Da 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 da. You were never going to convince those people and nothing else anyway, especially now that he's done playing. But I think to Bryce's overall point, what Cam Newton doesn't have to do this. What he's doing is actually a great thing for the community. I hope he continues to do it, and I hope that he doesn't let this deter him. really what I hope everybody takes away from this is don't try to get in a fight with a professional athlete. Like I saw this video, it said Cam Newton gets jumped. I'm thinking Cam Newton's gonna get stomped out. I seen a lot of people get jumped. I ain't never seen nobody get jumped that look like Cam Newton. Like the nigga's hat didn't even move an inch, bro. Like that was crazy, bro. People need to realize I don't care how tough you think you are. A professional athlete is just like 3 times your size, bro. Like it ain't gonna go how it's gonna go when you fight a nigga at the bar. It's not the same shit.
Nah, facts, especially Cam Newton. You know what I'm saying? Cam Newton played on Auburn with no other NFL prospects had them boys winning a chip. Like, come on, dog. G, chime in, bro.
Well, me, if anything, it's sure. I don't want to say. I think if anything, it gave Cam more respect when you seen the video because he didn't swing. All he did was just grapple. When I seen that video, I'm like, if anything, I want a bigger Cam Newton because it don't look like mostly you see a fight, but it was just for him. It was just like, yeah, where was security at? And clearly, he is security. What do he weigh? Like 250? They're saying solid, pure muscle, which is like, damn, makes me want to go back to the gym and hit it harder. Because it's
No,
like,
you ain't lying.
yo,
That's a good point, bro. Because
yeah.
he definitely had a chance to uppercut homie. Like, and that's another thing that you gotta respect Cam
He
for.
showed
Like,
restraint. He
he
just
could have
showed
got
much
damage.
restraint.
He elected not to.
No, and of course, for me, it's just, I mean, now I'm understanding how you guys understanding it, just because how you guys describe 707. For more, it looked so. It made the people around him look just so like, why is he even doing this? Like, why is he giving back? So now I'm understanding. It's more like, okay, this is a different kind of thing that I'm watching. Than like from your point of view, T, when you're telling me 707 is more like street ball, where there's going to be a lot of trash talking. Compared to like the way the media came out and said, no, this was him just doing like a training camp for quarterbacks. That's how I thought it was. Was he was when it's more like, no, it's a 707. It's something different. It's more like street ball. Okay, now I'm viewing this a lot different now from hearing what you guys are telling me. If anything, it showed me that Cam Newton has a lot of restraint. If anything, you got to big him up because he didn't throw full fisticuffs, and you didn't hear about nobody getting arrested. So this is from
Good point,
anything.
dog.
It looks more like it was just a bunch of high testosterone level, and then they met actual Superman, and my man just calmed it all the shit down. It was just, yeah, done. They got it out of you guys, and I'm sure those guys got it escorted, and you kind of feel sad for the kids because you can't see grown men learn how to behave, and that's the only thing that I take from this. It was just a bunch of grown men that couldn't behave in a situation where it's like, yo, like, what are you showing these kids? Like, there's gonna be places where everybody's gonna talk shit to you. It's just, you gotta learn how
And
to put your ego and pride to the side.
I also want to say, like, T hit the nail on the head because the 7-on-7, I've played football my whole life, really. And the 7-on-7 culture has always been the street ball environment, the trash talk environment. You got the people that talk the most trash on the football field. Those are the ones playing. The DBs always running their mouth, and the wide receivers, the quote unquote divas. So you have all the right elements in really any 7-on-7 environment for it to get real chippy, real fast. And it's the exciting part of the game. Like T said, the kids call it clipping you up. Like it's all the highlights. It's where you get the most exciting plays, all the cool looks. So I mean, it definitely breeds an environment of it breeds an environment that a Peyton Manning or Eli Manning probably wouldn't even be at in the first place.
Well, that's the thing, right? There are 7-on-7 like leagues where I'm guessing not in urban areas that probably are probably less competitive for sure, right? And they're also probably less chippy. But when you're talking about these major tournaments like Cam throws, there's a couple other leagues I can't think of. Battle throws a big one. Like when you're talking about the big boy leagues, man, those are the best kids in the country. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And you're exactly right, Ron. When you're talking about the best receivers going against the best corners from different states that know each other through 24/7, know each other through rivals, know each other through social media, man, people going out there to make a name for themselves. And those are the marquee positions where you talk. So you're absolutely right, Ron. My issue is that, and I'm getting tired of this, and it's a little preachy. Everything that's urban doesn't have to be I don't want to use the word ghetto, but it doesn't have to be violent. It doesn't have to have elements of ops and you know what I'm saying. There's a way to be competitive and talk trash and all that without that spilling over. Shoot, the 7-on-7, my son won a championship, right? No lie. After the championship they won, the older teams are playing. There's a parent fighting
Jesus,
Hey,
man. Hey, bro, this joint is this is really pissing me off, man.
are
So
we are we still live?
we are still
Yeah.
live. First of all, apologies for the technical
We're
difficulties.
live. We're live.
My laptop has literally said "F me" today. This is the second time this has happened. It happened in pre-production. Now it's happening during production. I got a feeling it's gonna happen again, man. So I'm trying to get my desktop situated here in the meantime, bro. My apologies, fellas. Rome, I think
But
we
next
left.
topic.
I think we left off with you, Rome. Can we get some closing words on this Cam Newton situation, Rome?
Oh yeah, I mean, basically to sum it up, man, like G was saying, I hope this doesn't leave a dark cloud over the Cam Newton um 7-on-7 league or the QB camp or none of the great things that Cam's doing in the inner city. And honestly, man, shout out to Cam for showing the restraint, for not, you know what I'm saying, getting too violent. And, you know, hopefully everybody just learns in the situation. Like, it is just a game. There's majority kids playing, and it's fine to be passionate. It's fine to talk trash, but you got to know there's a line to cross, and you got to, as the adult, you got to know not to cross that line.
Damn, well said. Well said. And if you ever been on the football field, you know them lines get crossed quick, and it's very easy to happen because, to T's point, testosterone's flowing. Everybody wants to win, and I guess in this era now, nobody wants to get clipped up.
Actually,
So,
Bryce, now that you're back, that's what I was about to ask him. What do y'all feel about this statement, man? Because I personally feel, we were talking about the culture of football. I personally feel like just in general in the culture of sports, we need to create better losers. People need to to accept L's better, and then maybe we won't have as many line crosses. Because look, I understand it sucks to lose. Nobody wants to lose. We're all competitive here. You know what I'm saying? Like I get mad at a Madden loss on a video game. So I get that part. But what I'm saying is like if you can learn to lose correctly, and I think that starts at a young age, shout out to Coach Boogie. If you can learn to lose correctly, then you won't have as many people crossing these lines. Because what I see when I see the parents crossing the line, I see somebody that never learned how to lose and bounce back. Because that's all part of the game. And I think if you can get more people to learn how to lose correctly and lose with grace, then you get less people crossing the line.
Facts. But the problem with that is like, one, how do you do that? Two, are we too far gone? Like we're in a culture where a boxer can't have an L on his record. Like Muhammad Ali, the greatest of all time, got 9 or 8 of them. You know, like Sugar Ray got, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about? You can't have an L now. You're right, Rome. It's like, it's that era we live in. Is it irreversible? I wonder.
Well, part of it is the culture of winning has superseded the culture of developing. I see it all the time at the youth level. And I, to a certain degree, right, you got to put the team first, but like the team winning and losing shouldn't dictate your sentiments toward a game or coaching if everything's going how it should go, right? You should be in a situation where it's okay to lose because your child is learning and your child's having fun. And if you're not in a situation where your child is learning and having fun, because I think those have to go hand in hand, then you're in the wrong place. You know, if you just want to win, you know, I don't know what to tell you as a parent. Join a trivia team, or I don't know, but the kids' goal is typically for the play as best they can, right? And that's where the parents should be too, not just to go out there and win a bunch of useless trophies. No high school coach has ever asked a kid how many trophies they've won in Little League. No scout has ever asked a kid how many trophies they won in Little League. So the parents got to keep some perspective. And I think the kids will follow the example that the parents show. So if my parents are yelling at the refs, if my parents are screaming at the other coaches, if my parents are screaming at each other or their own coach, I mean, the kids are going to follow. So, yeah.
Nah, that's a good point.
You know what these parents need to talk to? The spelling bee champions parents. You ever see those tournaments on ESPN? Those parents know how to shut the fuck up and just let those kids do their thing. And just, you know, I mean, I'm sure behind the scenes, they're throwing thesauruses, all kind of dictionaries, everything at those kids. But they know once they're in a field of play, they stand back and they just let the kids do their thing. I think those parents need to come out and teach these soccer moms, these basketball mom and dads, these football dads and moms something or two about just having perfect composure. Because I'm not gonna lie, I don't watch a couple Sunday morning ABC spelling bee contest real quick, and I'm like, hey yo, I just learned a new word, nemesis, in the root language of it.
Not nemesis. Not nemesis being your new word. We got to get you a dictionary, my boy.
Hey,
no, that's funny.
Can you tell me the language?
Hey, G, now you got to spell it.
Yeah, I'm thinking about.
Go ahead.
Hey, yo, but he made a good point. I saw a tweet that was like, we don't have a kid problem, we have a parent problem. And that is definitely that, but it's like, man, how to reverse it. I think we can go on for days about that. So let's go ahead and, you know, keep it pushing from this topic. Next up on the dock, man, let's get into some basketball. We've been talking a lot of football, and it's not even football season. So Draymond had some interesting comments about Jayson Tatum, right? And Jayson Tatum right now plays for the best team in the NBA, record-wise at least, right? The Celtics are running away from the East right now. I think they like 7 games up on the next highest team, 7.5 maybe, and that's the Cavs. And they looking primed to make a run a deep run in the playoffs, right? And you guys know I've talked about this, man, endless times, right? The qualifications for MVP, because I used to like the time. I like standards, bro. I love standards. Like when we lose standards, we lose society, bro. Back to those parents with Cam Newton, right? But there was once a standard where the best player on the best team in the NBA was the MVP. You know what I'm saying? We looked at the record. We asked who is the best player on that team. This guy must be the most valuable because he's the best on the best team. There was a standard there. There's no standard now, right? The last few MVPs, it's kind of like what we like the best. I always felt like it kind of started with Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook when he had the triple-double MVP, as I refer to it as. I think that's what kind of started like, okay, let's give it to who we think was the best performer, right? Jayson Tatum's in an interesting spot right now because he is the best player on the best team, and he's most definitely one of the best players in the NBA as far as performance right now. But he doesn't have the best numbers, right? Maybe if his team was a little worse, had a few less pieces, he would have better numbers. And Draymond Green had some interesting comments. I want to read off exactly what Draymond said, and then I want to hear you guys sound off on it. So Draymond said the Celtics are 7.5 games ahead of the number 2 seed in the East. Do people think the Celtics are that great to where Jayson Tatum is only 5th in the MVP race? Sometimes it's like that team is winning and that guy is the best player and playing well. In this situation, that's clearly not the goalpost. So my question for you guys is: the goalpost being moved for Jayson Tatum? Has it already been moved and he's just a casualty to the now, or is there something deeper to Jayson Tatum's personality or to the way he plays or to whatever that's leading to him not getting the looks that some people think he should? Let's go with Rome. What you think about this situation, man?
Man, I think the goalposts already been moved. I think like similar to what you said, and the old days it would have been kind of obvious that Tatum, maybe not if he was a shoe-in, he would have been at least 2 or 3 on the list. But the way that the MVP is given out now, Tatum being 5th doesn't really surprise me too much. I mean, look, Draymond's point is honestly incredible, though. Draymond's point, hearing that just made me want to move him up the list because if you take him off the Celtics, are they 7.5 games ahead of the number 2 seed? Are they still the number 1 seed? Is Tatum worth 7.5 game? Like if he is, then he should be up higher on the MVP list. So to your point, Bryce, man, it really just depends on how they want to break down who you're actually giving the MVP to.
That's a great point, dog. And you know what you made me think, bro, is like, okay, so say you in a Tatum situation, right? You 7 games up, but a Bama like Luka got 35, 12, and 12 on the season. I don't know what Luka's exact stats are, so don't quote that. But y'all know how Luka going this year. Averaging triple-double damn near, right? With 30 points. Now, what do I have to do as a player that can't give you those numbers? Like, what does my team record have to be? Like, for example, if Jayson Tatum team hits 65 wins this season, is that better than the triple-double performance? Is a 65 win? Like, you know what I'm saying? How do we weight that? And really got me thinking because, like, right now, I think the Celtics are probably only like 4 or 5 games or 3 or 4 games up on the best team in the West. But if they were like another 7 or 8 games and they were 10 games up on the best team in the East and the West, now is a different conversation. I wonder. I saw you shaking your head during Rome's answer, man. I think you got something good to say. The one train. That's that good old Amtrak riding by, man. Shout out to Amtrak.
Hold on. Remember that year when Kobe Bryant averaged 35 points, and then right behind him was AI with 33 or 31, something like that? Crazy scoring numbers. At that point, it went from who had the better team to top scorer. You guys want to know where Jayson Tatum is right now in scoring averaging right now? He's averaging 27 points. You got Sheer Alexander averaging 30 points. This is why Jayson Tatum is in 5th place when it comes to voting right now. Yeah, he has the best team in the league right now in the East by far. But when you come to, because at that point, right, because MVP tends to be for what you're doing for yourself. He's only averaging 27 points. So he has to average a little bit more than that. He at least he has to be in a conversation of top scorer. And you know where he's ranked in scoring right now? He ranks in 9th place. This is why Jayson Tatum isn't really being considered as an MVP. On top of that, and then you factor in he's in a great squad, and you really can't blame him that much. But when you're in a great squad, why aren't you having a higher scoring average? Why aren't you averaging at least 30 points? blowing the competition out the
But
water.
if you playing team basketball, sometimes like
But that's what we're talking about. MVP. MVP tends to be non-team basketball. It tends to be self-driven award. So
but
why isn't he going nutty buddy?
so basically what you're saying, G, is like, in your opinion, you feel like the MVP should be given to the best performance, regardless of like standing. So what I'm getting at, G, is like if somebody
No. I'm saying if you have the number one team, right, and you're only averaging like 25 points, why I'm gonna give it to you to the guy that is in the third best team, but he's averaging 32 points.
Okay, let me ask you this though. What if the guy's on the 12th best team, but he's averaging 50
No.
points?
Like
He's
I said,
averaging
you at
50
least
points.
have to be in the top 5 team, and your average will have to be at least 30 points compared to Jayson Tatum, where he's in the top team, who's only averaging 27 points. Who are you looking to be MVP? Who you in your mind? Who you think is making a bigger difference? The guy that's averaging 32 points, or the guy that's averaging 27 points?
The guy that's averaging 27 points because my
But
team.
my player is he's in the second best team.
If your player's on the second best team, he's averaging
30 points. 30 points.
3 more made baskets. Now, it's not.
And
like
he's only in the loss differential is only by 2 games.
now you creating all these hypotheticals. Like,
But I'm not. But I'm not.
Who's in second and scoring more than Tatum?
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. He's the second best team in the West, and he's averaging 30 points a night. And we're not going to give him the MVP over Jayson Tatum. And he's only like 2 games behind.
I think.
And he's in the West.
I think the problem is that there's no criteria for the MVP, right? Like Rice was saying, where's the standards? If you offensive player of the year is what you're talking about. Value is wins, right? Because what's more valuable than a win? Like, if you telling me if I average 27 and somebody averages 35, let's say somebody averaged 40, but their team doesn't make the playoffs, does that guy averaging 40 deserve an MVP over me?
So can I give you
Okay, well, hold on. Let me.
He's averaging 2 steals a game.
Like,
Nah, G's making a great point for Alexander. I think Alexander definitely deserves some MVP love. But what I want to ask y'all then, because based off what it sounds like we're saying, if you're putting up crazy numbers but your team's not winning, you shouldn't really be considered for MVP. So what do y'all think about Luka? Like, should he be in this MVP conversation right now? Because his numbers look great, but what is that really doing for his team? Because to T's point, if the value is in winning, are you just a stat? Is Luka just a stat stuffer?
Right,
well,
and that's what happened with Russ, bro. Luka's having that Russ. And remember what they said about Russ, bro? Oh, those triple doubles don't mean nothing. But Luka does it. Triple double, they loving him.
To me, the MVP race is between Giannis, Alexander, and Tatum. And in my opinion, right now, I would lean Giannis.
I think Tatum. Tatum's my favorite right now because in shout out to my guy Brooks. Like this comment, MVP equals best player on the best team. On a great team, there needs to be huge difference between you and the next guy on your team. So some sort of separation. I feel like Tatum got enough separation between him and Jaylen Brown or Kristaps Porzingis at this point that, like, I think he's the best player on that team. I think it's clear, right? Now, y'all know how I feel about this though, about MVP now, because now they've changed the criteria. To T's point, I gotta change my prediction on it, right? And y'all know I'm all about them MVP moments, bro. And if it gets to a point where they're only 2-3 games back of the best team, and that the second best team, and that second best team's best player has a couple of them MVP moments, couple big time buzzer beaters, couple put the team on my back and give them 75, like that might be enough to sway it a little bit. Another thing about Jayson Tatum, bro, if Tatum had the personality of LaMelo Ball, he probably is the clear-cut MVP. But Tatum's also got that, like, coy kind of personality. You know what I'm saying? Most NBA, you could be a legit NBA fan and not know what Jayson Tatum's voice sounds like. You know what I'm saying? You can't say that about Draymond Green. You know, you could be a casual and know what Draymond Green's voice sounds like. You feel me? So it's one of them things where like maybe the Jayson Tatum persona works against him a bit. You've been a proponent of Jayson Tatum for some years now. You at one time incorrectly called him the second coming of Kobe Bryant or something.
No. We're not gonna do that.
Wait.
I
Rewind the
You
said,
tape.
did say something crazy.
You
You
did
did
say
say
something
something crazy.
outlandish.
I said his game is the most similar to Kobe, and I still agree that it is. You can make a little bit of case from. Sometimes you see it out of Kyrie, but Tatum gives you the exact same bag Kobe gives you, just you know what I'm saying, at a lower level. But you're exactly right.
No.
Part. I
Rome
can't-
got buying that.
No, I can't even let that go by, bro. Like when was Kobe averaging 27? Like I don't know, man. Kobe, like
you're talking
it's
about
not really comparable. Like I
no,
see what you're trying to do, but it's not really comparable.
you're talking about mentality, right? If you put Kobe's mentality into Jayson Tatum's skill set, you have a Kobe Bryant light. We're not like what can
But
Kobe do?
that's really what separated Kobe from other goats
Right.
is
I'm
he
talking
had the talent and the mindset.
I'm talking
Like
about skill set. I'm talking about skill set. I'm not talking about
she
anything
moved.
but skill set.
Shout out to B, man. B hit the nail on the head with that.
I mean, you could call it what you want, but it looks like Tatum studied Kobe. That's what it looks like. Before when I said it, it sounded crazy, but if you go on Twitter and search it, I guarantee you see mashups. I guarantee you see other people saying it now. I was the first person to say it because I'm watching it for what it is. I'm watching it skill for skill. And Kobe shoots pull-ups, Tatum shoots pull-ups. Kobe shoots turnarounds, Tatum shoots turnaround. Kobe shoots three.
But why did Kobe get MVP and we questioning Tatum's?
Thank you.
Also,
Not
Kobe,
the same.
like you said, we know what Kobe's voice was, right? We knew, we've heard stories about Kobe's intensity. Like there was the mystique and the legend of Kobe. We don't hear about Tatum yelling at players at practice. We don't hear about Tatum telling people you can't come to my party unless you got a Bentley Kwame Brown. Like Tatum's personality works against him in this conversation because he's not a showman, right? That's why you get the LaMelos and the Ja Morants and the guys that can run and dunk, because the average fan doesn't. I tell this to my players all the time. The average fan, the average coach, the average scout cannot tell skill. Like they can't tell you one skill from another. But what they can tell you is the guy that can do a 360 windmill. They can tell you Ja Morant, when Ja Morant jumps over somebody, they can see that. There's guys more skilled than Ja Morant in the league, right? But what gets you noticed? The flashy plays. You don't really see flashy plays from Tatum. Occasionally he gets a dunk, occasionally he dunks on somebody, but it's really a lot of triple threat, a lot of turn, post, a lot of step back jumpers. It's just very efficient basketball. SGA is the same way. SGA probably won't get the MVP other than the fact that he's doing it with what people would call a less talented team. If you switch both of those guys, you still have the same issue. Like
I feel you on that, but and you know that's why I'm kind of getting away from focusing on their games because I feel like Jokic is not that exciting of a basketball player either. But he's fresh off an MVP. You know what I'm saying? And he's not, and he's also not a big personality. That's all.
No.
No, listen, T.
He's a big personality without trying to be.
No, wait. Hold on. After he won the chip, they started giving you Jokic personality, bro. Before that championship, you ain't know a goddamn thing about Jokic personality, bro. And it's like, for some reason, he kind of caught that.
But Jokic's game has a level of flash that Tatum's doesn't, right? You will see Jokic throw behind the back passes, no look passes, cross court dimes. Like Jokic makes plays where people say, how did that happen? You don't see that from the other two guys.
So, okay. So we don't see that from Tatum, right? I feel like there's still a bridge for Tatum. Like, what does Tatum have to do? Now let's not that Tatum needs any advice from us, right? But like, what do we think Tatum has to do to essentially be that be viewed as that guy. Be
I
viewed
can
as
tell
that
you.
MVP.
I can tell you
And,
exactly.
and make it attainable though. Don't let's not say he has to do 360 windmills because we know that's
I
not
can
his
tell
game.
you exactly what he got to do, and it don't take long. After the games, when they get to the press conferences and they ask him a question like, you were really hot tonight. What was going on? He needs to say something to the effect of, "I'm just better than these guys." Not. Don't give me the diplomatic PC answer. Just look right in the camera and say, "Bro, look who was checking me." That's a
So
joke.
you need him to talk that shit like Cam Newton was talking. That's what you
I
need.
mean, you gotta talk it like
Fine line.
bro. That's what the fans want to hear. The fans don't want to hear, well, my teammates got me going and they really lifted me up, bro. Anybody can say that. We don't want PR guy. We want the guy that comes out and tells you how he felt. Man, when I got the ball, I don't care who was checking me. Who y'all like? SGA can't check me. Who y'all like? Kawhi can't check me. Paul George can't check me. That's what would propel him to the top.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Like we can't when we have these MVP conversations, we do got to remember that like a lot of what goes into winning the MVP also has to do with the media narrative, and the media narrative has a lot to do with what you give as your personality or what you know what I'm saying don't give. So I definitely get what you're saying, T. I do think some comments like that you get yourself on ESPN, FS1, you get yourself in the news cycle. All of a sudden, you move up that MVP list with only averaging 27 points.
Yep.
But bruh, there's another path to it too, and there's just some MVP moments on the court that can happen, right? And I feel like Tatum's go drop 72, bruh. You Kobe, right? You got Kobe's game. Go give me 65, bruh.
Bro, Cat just dropped 60 and no one cared.
Yeah, but Cat's not. That's an MVP.
But he
moment.
lost.
That's an MVP
He a
moment for a
bum.
guy that's not in the MVP race. All right,
He a
give me an
bum.
MVP moment from the guy in the MVP race.
I think
Dunk on Gobert.
I
You know what
think
I'm saying?
I think the MVP moment is going to be when Boston finishes 15 games above everybody else.
And that could be it. And that was my first point. I'm like, how many games? What's the threshold to where it's like we're so many games above everyone
Yeah,
that there's
because
no one else that
seven and a half is a lot, bro.
7.5 is a lot, but 15 is like, dog, there's no one
That's
else
crazy.
in the league. There's no other team in the league that you give an MVP to except my team.
Yeah,
If
it's
I'm picking
crazy.
everybody. So, 7 games. I don't know if 7 games. To G's point, I'm kind of starting to feel G since they changed the criteria. I don't know if just being 7 games better than, or no, not 7 games, because you're only 4 games better than the second best team in the league, right? I don't know if being 4 games better than the second best team in the league. 6, all right. So 6 games better than the second best team in the league is MVP worthy.
No, it's 5. It's 5. Sorry, fellas, it's 5. It's 5.
10, 15. Yeah, that's MVP worthy to me, bro.
So
Five games. Being 5 games ahead is impressive as hell. To be honest, by itself, if they get it to fucking 10 or 15, that's insane.
So for me to consider Jayson Tatum as MVP, he will have to beat the Bucks by a hard margin because it's literally a team in their conference, and Jayson Tatum will have to at least score 50 points. And the definitive factor with Giannis is playing, because at that point that would be his MVP stamp right there. That's your MVP moment.
So
But they beat the Bucks. Listen, when they beat the Bucks by a margin of 15 points, but Jayson Tatum scored 50 with Giannis playing.
So Tatum got to drop 50 on Middleton.
He will have to drop 50 on the Bucks, because that's the only way. Because look, if we're not giving them to him now, and they have 6-point lead, like in the East. How far ahead are they are? Look, they're like an 8-point team lead in the East, and we're not going to give them to him now. So what he's going to have to do? He's going to have to beat the Bucks in a definitive factor, and then on top of that, beat them by at least a margin of 15 points, where he scores 50 points. So where it's just like, all right, I am the MVP.
Yeah,
you will have, because you got someone like SGA scoring 30 points a night.
Your criteria was very, very specific, so I appreciate it. But I don't know, bro. I wonder that could do it. That could do it. Go crazy on Giannis. Give him 50, and yeah, maybe that might be MVP moment enough. But
Because he can't do it to a team like the Bulls. If you do it to a team like the Bulls, what are we doing? We're laughing at it because you're beating up on the Bulls. Like he has to do it on somebody that he's gonna have to see in the playoffs, let alone in the Eastern Conference Final, to give you that stamp, like solidify, like I am that guy. Like give me my shit.
no, facts. I can't disagree with that. I can't disagree with that. All right, well, all right. Any closing words on the Tatum conversation? Anybody want to drop one more way he could be certified MVP, or we kind of good on this one, closing it out?
I think we good. I don't think Tatum needs an MVP. I think if the Celtics win a championship, and then if they win like 2 out of 3 or something like that, they go on a run, then that'll speak for itself. A Finals MVP will always be better than a season MVP in my book.
That's true.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
That's a fact.
So yeah, shout out to Kawhi Leonard because he doesn't have any MVPs, but he got 2 Finals MVPs, and that's looking real. That's looking real nice, bro. That's looking real nice. Good point, T. So let's move on though. Let's move on back. Let's jump back from the NBA back to the NFL because free agency is looming. The combine is damn near here, and there's one player that's been dangled around. Possibility that he stays with his current team. Possibility that he gets traded. Possibility that his team don't love him no more. All right, and that's one Justin Fields, man. I want to get you guys' opinion on this. I know we've had decent amount of conversation about Justin Fields in the past. I just wonder what you guys think about the Bears and the situation they're in right now. Do you take Caleb Williams? Do you keep Justin Fields and build around him, the known commodity? And then I want to have another conversation after that based off Ryan Pohl's comments, the GM, in which he said, he essentially said we owe it to Justin to get him traded, get him out of here before free agency starts if we're going to get him out of here. I thought that was very interesting. So let's start with the Justin Fields conversation, man. How are we feeling about Fields, Joe? Do we think that the Bears should keep him? I mean, I know we've had the conversation, but it's back in the news cycle. I want to hear what you guys think. G, let's start with you, man.
Damn. I'm really, as of late, I'm wishy-washy with Ohio State quarterbacks. At the CJ Stroud, he's the only one that showed me Ohio State quarterbacks could play in the league. I wasn't a fan of Fields. He made me a believer the year before, kind of a believer. Came into the season, I was still on the fence because I'm like, whatever. Even now, it's just like there are rumors that the Falcons are trying to make a push for him. That came out earlier today, where the Falcons are trying to make a push so he could end up over there. But it's the Bears, man. It don't matter who the fuck is going to be the quarterback for the Bears. They haven't had a decent quarterback. I had a decent offensive coordinator to call anything for them since Rex Grossman, I believe. That was the Super Bowl quarterback, huh? Oh, Cutler. Well, they never drafted Cutler. Yeah. Cutler got traded from the Broncos over there. But besides the point, who the fuck have the Bears done with a quarterback? It's always been about defense for them. That's in their blood. So for me, I'm not a believer in Caleb Williams. I think he's going to be a bust, in my opinion. Yes, and I said this a while back. I said it on the group chat. I've been told you guys that I don't believe in him. This dude can't beat Notre Dame, period. And all of a sudden, I'm supposed to believe this guy can step into the big field and be a winner? Unlikely. I personally think if Justin Fields is going to have a fresh start, Atlanta's the best place. He's going to be a better guy over there. He has better weapons, a better offensive line. And I think it's more for him. He's back at home. And let's see what he can do.
Damn. So you ready? So you saying if you the Bears, you getting rid of Justin Fields?
You got it, because at this point, it's too shaky. Like, what are you going to do with the guy? Like, your intents are not to keep him anyways. I guess you're trying to keep a poker face because you want assets for him at this point. But it's like, what are you going to do?
If Caleb is the bust that you're predicting, man, and you get rid of a Fields who's a known commodity, like, that's tough.
But clearly, him and the head coach don't get along, and the offensive coordinator are not. They're not building the offense for him. It's like,
so if you're Ryan Poles right now, you're trading Justin Fields, and you're not drafting Caleb Williams at number 1. So whose name are you calling, or are you trading down?
I would trade down. And I'll wait until next year's quarterbacks come in. I don't like none of these guys this year. I think all these quarterbacks this year, the only guy that I personally like, is Michael Pickton. I think that kid is a starting quarterback. I think that's what he needed. He got the arm, and he could play in high games, and that's what you want. None of these guys that won the MVP, the Heisman the last 2 years, show me they could win in a big game. All these guys are just they're stat stuffers.
AG, I'm tempted to believe you because I must admit you were the man that was most right about CJ Stroud, and so I'm tempted to believe you a bit, but I can't see Caleb Williams being a bust. We'll get into that maybe a little later, but
And weeks ahead, because the Columbine is still to come. I'm just
wait. I don't
saying.
want the Columbine to come. All right, Columbine comes.
Oh shit! No, never mind. That's a shootout. My bad.
Green cut.
Holy shit!
Oh my God.
The
Hey, it's a whole
combine.
shootout. Whatever the fuck I
The
want to call it, the
combine.
scouting. There's these scouting reports of these quarterbacks. I don't believe in none of them except that one guy that we got to see in the national game, and he showed you that he could play against strong defenses. And I just don't like none of these rest of these guys. All these guys are a bunch of stat stuffers throughout the season. When they had to play big games, these guys folded. None of them showed you in a big game that they can win.
It's hard to argue what you're saying as far as those quarterbacks go, but I do I like your point about Justin Fields, man. We'll see what the Bears do. Rome, what do you think, man? Do you think put yourself as Ryan, turn yourself into Ryan Poles, Rome? Would you try to build around Justin Fields? Would you try to tailor an offense to him? Do you feel like the Bears have done that? Like, what you think?
So this is the problem. The Bears have already fumbled the whole Justin Fields thing, right? If they were going to tailor anything around him, do anything for him, it needed to already happen. They basically put themselves in a situation where they have to trade him. We'll get into G saying Caleb Williams is a bust in another show, but Caleb Williams is the guy that you have to draft in this situation. The problem Chicago is going to run into are these rumors that have been floated out there by the national media that Caleb doesn't want to play in Chicago. Now, if there's truth to that and he tries to pull an Eli Manning, doesn't want to get drafted to your team, now you got to have a serious backup plan. So that would make you think that they might wait to trade Justin Fields until draft day. But based on the comments Ryan Poles has said, they're going to try to trade him by the start of free agency, which is in the next couple weeks. So you could see Justin Fields, and that's why that Atlanta rumor popped up, G. So you could see Justin Fields on the move here in the next couple weeks, and I think that's what's going to happen. And I think the Bears are going to do whatever they can to try to get Caleb Williams in Chicago and happy, because another thing the national media has done is thrown out these words like generational and all time and all these crazy things for a prospect. So I think the Bears will move heaven and earth to get Caleb Williams. I think if they trade down, they're going to ask for, again, heaven and earth. So it's going to be hard for them to find a trade partner to go down with. It's going to you're going to have to find somebody that's really in love with Caleb Williams and thinks that he's all that and then some. And I don't think you're going to get somebody to give up that many picks for that. So I think they end up getting Caleb.
All right, T. So Caleb Williams to the Bears. Justin Fields is leaving. Are you sold that Justin Fields is gone? Are you completely sold that the Bears want nothing to do with him? Because I don't think I am. What you think, T?
It come back to what Rome said. If Caleb Williams really doesn't want to be there, that's a tough one, right? But at the end of the day, like, what are you going to do if I sign you? What are you going to do? Like, hold out? Like, yeah, right. I think they trade him. Like, if you keep Justin Fields and it doesn't work, that's going to get some people fired. If you keep Justin Fields and it doesn't work and Caleb Williams is a star, that's going to get everybody fired.
Out the league.
If you take a shot on Caleb Williams and you trade Justin Fields and Justin Fields plays better, they're going to say, all right, well, it was just a better situation for him. But we failed taking a shot, right? And that's what we talked about earlier, right? You want to swing that ice pick. You got to swing that ice pick on Caleb Williams. So you trying to break ground, you know what I'm saying? Swing that pick, maybe strike some oil or something. Like, Fields got to go. As you think. I honestly don't think you got to trade. Like, if you do trade, I don't think you absolutely have to trade for Caleb. You could trade down 1 spot, 2 spots, draft a quarterback, and draft another weapon.
That's a generational haul if they do it right.
Yeah, there's a way, there's a path there where maybe you don't get Caleb, but maybe you get Marvin Harrison and DJ Moore and I don't know, JJ McCarthy or
Jaden
Daniels. You get the guy, you get another, because you don't fall in love with just one guy and one guy only, right? There's going to be more than one guy you like, so you can sell that. You can sell that to the media. You can sell that to the fan base. This guy didn't want to play for us. This guy didn't work out. We brung you a Hall of Fame receiver, and we paired him with another young quarterback. And at the end of the day, Bears have a defense. You got a tight end. You got a receiver. You get another receiver. You got a running game. Bro, there's a way that you could manufacture this. I don't know if I trust the Bears to get it right, but there's a way where you could come away, like you said, a generational haul. But I do think Fields has to go. And I do think Atlanta is probably a decent spot for him. But I think there's some other sneaky places where he could go and make an impact. I think there's some places he could go and absolutely fail. But yeah, the Bears move on. I can't imagine not wanting a rookie contract after just watching Brock Purdy and the 49ers.
Yeah, that's a good point. But keep in mind that Brock Purdy came so late in the draft, right? And if I'm the Bears, especially if I got a lick, and I love my team, bro, but we done been a lick for years, man. We was a lick in the RG3 trade, and we could very well be another lick in a Caleb Williams trade, right? And if you Bears
that's a trade for him. I can't wait to draft the Buzz.
If you're the Bears at number 1 and you got Washington number 2, they want Caleb. You give Washington, you move down 1 spot to give Washington number 1, right? And they got to at least give you a first next year and a second this year, right?
Yep.
So, but it might be more. It might be a first next year, a first a year after, and a second this year, in addition to the first this year. So 3 firsts and a second. Then you trade down from second. You might be able to finesse it to just trade down 1 spot again with the Patriots, because someone's going to try to move up to 2 to jump them because they need a quarterback.
Yep.
Now it's the Jaden Daniels versus Drake May comp, and someone says, all right, I like Daniels better. We have to have him. So they jump the Patriots, cost them another first-round pick. Now you're looking at 2 first-round picks, bro, and you now got the 3rd pick. You trade that joint one more time to a team like Atlanta at 8, and say, you know what, F that, Atlanta. Go ahead and get Jaden Daniels or Drake May, and we're gonna keep Justin Fields, right? You now have 3 first-round picks, and you give Justin Fields, Marvin Harrison, Joe Alt, left tackle, and then let's say you really trying to go all in on Fields. So then you give them. They do. All right, yeah. So all right, say you take the best guard. You know what I'm saying? But let's say you really going all in on Fields. So then with the 3rd pick, let's say you get a give him Brock Bowers to go, Cole Kmet and Brock Bowers as your tight ends, and then you bring in a Saquon Barkley as your running back, bruh. You telling me that Justin Fields with all of that isn't better than Caleb Williams with none of that? I don't know, bro. I would like to see it though.
You know what you just said? That's basically what Atlanta already has waiting for him with those 2 running backs and 2 younger studs. You know what that sounds like? That sounds like what the Ravens wish they had with Gus Edwards and them other running backs that always get hurt, but they just can't get it together because those other running backs are hurt. If anything, Atlanta will be the NFC version of the Ravens, because they have a semi-decent running back defense.
Yeah, that was OCB.
I don't know if they could be the Ravens, but I do think it makes more sense for a team like Chicago to trade back and keep loading up. Just come out and say Caleb Williams didn't want to come to us. Because Washington absolutely loves Caleb Williams. Absolutely. A hometown kid. It'd be good for PR. This is the type of org that drafted Haskins and will be willing to do it again, right?
Come on, bro.
First of all, bro,
you know what? I hope y'all get this shit. So when y'all get that buzz, oh man, pause. I can't wait.
Saying that this is the type of org to do da 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 is misinformation. Like we don't know what the type of work this is to do anything. You're not used to this new organization with this new owner, this new GM. So don't give me that Daniel Snyder yada 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 shit from the past, man. Like this org is different now. Okay, so
It's
first of all, I don't see Adam. I don't see the new GM for the Commanders trading up, giving up some crazy haul for Caleb Williams. I don't see anybody, honestly, personally, in the league trading up to give up a bunch for Caleb Williams. So the Bears trading down to me is a little bit more unlikely, especially when you consider the fact that if they do move on from Fields, they're probably going to get picks back for that in some type of way. Justin Fields is a young QB. He's not a bum. He played fairly well, especially in the ending stretch of last season. So if you're going to trade him, you're going to get something good back for him. Um, the Commanders or the Patriots trading up to me is just foolish. You can say what you want about Caleb Williams. I don't see the gap from Caleb Williams to Drake May or Jaden Daniels as a sizable enough gap to trade up. Like if you telling me that you're missing out on Caleb Williams, but you're getting Drake May or Jaden Daniels, why would you not just wait and keep your picks instead of losing out
let me
on picks to ride out with one player?
give you a little secret. When there is a consensus number one quarterback that everybody loves, when it is a white guy, everyone comes out and say he's the guy, right? Trevor Lawrence, Andrew Luck, yada yada yada. When it is a black guy, people start trying to move the bar and say, I don't know. That just lets me know how much people really love this kid, because they're trying to lower his value in hopes that maybe he slides to them. Maybe somebody blows it and says, I don't know. Like,
Yeah. You might be onto something.
That's not a terrible take, but I just don't think that I don't think that he's worth the Patriots. If you're sitting there at 2 or 3 and you still got Drake May, Jaden Daniels on the board, I don't think you give up a bunch of picks to go up one spot for Caleb Williams. And if you do that, then he better be the generational talent that they said Trevor Lawrence was.
Oh man, that's gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough for like, and that's that. See, I think y'all think y'all both made good points, but once that word generational gets thrown around, man, that's when it's like, because that's a lot to live up to. I think Caleb's is a problem though, but landing spot is everything, bro. You know what I'm saying? Again, like the Bears are not historically a team that does well with quarterbacks. If he goes to the Bears, I can see him being a bust, bro. If he goes to the Skins, I could see him being good for a season. Then being a bust. Like I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm trying to be realistic and subjective with this one.
Caleb Williams is bust proof. You heard it here first.
I think he is too. I think he is. I think he is too. But
I was gonna save some of these takes for later in this closer to the draft time. But I think Caleb Williams' floor is 8-9 wins. I think with Caleb Williams as your quarterback, your team is competitive. Period.
Y'all know I've been talking crazy about Caleb in the group chat. I
honest to God, I think that's his floor. I think if you put Caleb Williams on 30 of the 32 NFL teams right now, they got 8 wins.
No, he can't outplay a situation like Carolina. There's certain situations
I don't know.
There's certain situations where I don't care what quarterback goes there. There's just not enough in place to support the quarterback. But like New England, right? That is a place where rookie head coach, no weapons on the outside. The likelihood of being a bust going to New England is very, very high. I don't care who goes there. Caleb Williams included. And I know I just said he's bust proof, but that team, whoever they draft, needs to sit that quarterback. Do not ruin that quarterback by playing him. But that's just my take on it.
Nah, and then Rome came in with a nice little nugget too. Like, hey, there's not a big separation between 1, 2, and 3. And if that's the case,
there's absolutely a big separation between Drake May and Caleb Williams.
I think there's a pretty big gap. But with that
I would say there's a gap between Williams and May. I don't know if the gap between Williams and Daniels is enough for me to really want to trade up though. Like, I feel like if you can get Daniels to stay healthy, he's enough of a game changer to where you're going to get some stellar play. And if you put the right pieces around him, you're going to be straight.
How?
He's the one I can't figure out, man.
Help me out.
Drake May to me is he's the one where I don't trust Drake May as much as I trust the other two. I haven't seen enough.
How is
I need
Jaden?
more play.
How is Jaden Daniels not Justin Fields?
I think
I like Justin Fields. Justin Fields didn't get didn't get the support that he needed in Chicago.
What support you got more support than CJ Stroud?
And the thing about Justin Fields is one of the most interesting cases of quarterback that I've ever seen in my life, bro. Because I watched him in college, and I had no clue the dude could run. Like, I shouldn't say no clue. I knew he was an athlete. You know what I'm saying? But dog, I had no clue he was Michael Vick with the run. All right,
Yeah.
like I had no clue. If you watch Ohio State when Justin Fields was there, you can't tell me
he wasn't like this. Yeah,
maybe you watched his high school tape so you knew, but he wasn't. He didn't have to run like that. He used his arm. You know what I'm saying? Jaden Daniels, on the other hand, is a guy he almost had 1,000 yards rushing, and 40 touchdowns to 5 picks. Like, I don't know, bro. Jaden Daniels is the one quarterback I just can't figure out, bro. Like, is he about to be generational? Because the college stats would tell you that he might be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, his stats jump out to me, and then watching him play, man, the only knock I really have on him is he's reckless.
It takes huge hits. And then Drake May, like, I feel like, to me, especially for someone like G that's saying, like, Caleb could be an automatic bust. Drake May, to me, feels very safe, bro. Because, like, when I watch Drake May's tape, I feel like I've seen this quarterback come in the last, like, a few times in the last couple seasons. Like, I've seen it I feel like he's Josh Allen, Justin Herbert 3.0. Like, he to me is that next version of that guy. 6'4", strongest arm in the draft, has incredible deep ball accuracy, and is a physical runner, and is athletic enough to pick up first downs on any down, first, second, or third down. He can pick up a first down with his legs. Now, Jaden Daniels with the run, he's not. But
I feel like we've seen the Drake May type enough times to where it could go either way. Like Drake May, if you're telling me Drake May is getting drafted to a certain team, I might be like, okay, I see what you're saying. But if he goes to the Patriots, bro, it's Mac Jones 2.0.
I don't think so, bro. I think if Drake May goes to the Patriots, bro, they gonna be back real soon. I think Drake May, and I still got it. I'm not done my evaluations of the quarterbacks. I think Drake May is going to be a great quarterback, bro. I really do, bro. Like, I think he got unbelievable deep ball accuracy, like unbelievable, man. And then he can throw the ball. He can throw the ball 80 yards. Like, Drake May gonna be a problem. I think the only knock I got on him is I feel like his release is a little slow. I think we've seen that be successful. Phillip Rivers had a slow release a little bit. I've seen that be successful.
That's who he was training with recently. Drake May.
Really?
Yeah, he was training with Phillip Rivers.
May got to fall to the right situation, the right coaches, the right weapons, a running game. I don't think you can come in and ask him to throw 35 times. I think Caleb Williams, Michael Penix, and I think Penix needs to sit. But I think there's only 2 or 3 guys you could come in here and have a throw first offense. The rest of these guys need to hand the ball off, and Drake May included. I think Drake May has to win off of play action. If you sit back there at the NFL speed and say, just drop back and hit your weapons. If it's not there, run for a first down. I think
he reminds me of Will Levis. Like, I'm not.
Come on, man.
I'm not,
Come on, man.
Drake May is not impressing me, bro.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I think Drake May is gonna take the league by storm the same way Justin Herbert did. And I think it's gonna be. I think all Drake May needs is it. What'd you say?
Justin Herbert hasn't taken anything by storm.
Bro, are you crazy?
Yes, he did.
What are we
You saw
talking
how
about?
Rome loved him? Rome had posters of Justin Herbert in his house. Rome has a big statue with Justin Herbert.
That's the Herbert.
We gotta stop. We gotta stop. First of all, we're trying to do the NBA thing where we're looking for the best player on the best team right now. All right.
No, we're not.
Justin Herbert came into the league. Hold up.
Justin Herbert is Phillip Rivers Jr. I said this a while back.
I don't know what you're talking about. Justin Herbert came into the league throwing 4,700 yards, bro. What are we even talking? What 4,000 yards? You come in the league throwing 4,000 yards? You're legit, dog. All right.
So are we talking about solo awards? Or are we talking about shit to get you to a Super Bowl and win? What are we talking about? What do you want?
How just throw?
40. Okay,
I think he was.
bro, he threw 4,300 his first season and 5,000 his second season. That is the definition of taking the league by storm, bro. That's what you do if you take.
No,
The
yeah,
league by
Justin.
storm. Those type of seasons you had 31 tuds, 38
The
tuds.
only place Justin
All right,
Herbert
so tell
catches
me
strays is
his
on this
record. Tell
show.
me his record.
See, you doing that thing again, G, where sometimes you're willing to look at the totality. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he don't got no weapons. Oh, he don't got this. He don't got no defense. But sometimes it's like, what's his record? Bruh, Justin Herbert, dog, but one of the best young quarterbacks in the league, bro. Let's stop it. Let's stop it.
And T, to answer your question, Sam Howell was under 4,000 yards.
Hey,
under.
AT, if
That's
Justin
fine.
Herbert was on the Niners, y'all would be Super Bowl
Y'all
champions.
would, y'all be Super
No,
Bowl
the fuck they
champions.
wouldn't be. You bugging the fuck out of here. You
Yes,
bugging
they
the fuck
would.
out of here. Y'all
Y'all would have
bugging the
that
fuck
ring,
out of
man.
here. Y'all talking crazy about my big homie Patty
So
Mahomes. Y'all
one
bugging
thing,
the fuck out of here.
I want to say too. Last thing on the
Y'all bugging
from
the
the
fuck
three
out of here.
QBs.
Y'all the same guy that said y'all offensive coordinator was the reason why Patrick Mahomes won 2 Super Bowls. Y'all bugging the fuck out of here.
Oh, who
We
said
just
that?
changed the
Nobody
subject
said
here.
that.
Both of you losers,
Nobody
you
said that, bro.
bozos. Both of y'all bozos.
Justin Herbert gives y'all a
Eric
championship.
Bieniemy turned out to be Eric Bickle. Didn't matter.
Exactly.
Hey, Justin Herbert wins that championship. I promise you that. All
No,
right?
the fuck he not. He can't beat Patrick Mahomes anyways. Fuck out of here.
I mean, Purdy was right there. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right. Purdy was right there, and Justin Herbert wins it, dog. Because y'all defense was better.
So tell me that lead that he had against Jacksonville, what happened? That playoff game, what happened?
You talking about this? What you talking about? His first year in the league?
No.
Nah, he's talking about last season.
Last season, what happened?
When the defense crumbled, he's got to.
No. But you still had offensive plays, right? That you should have kept on scoring. What happened? What happened with Justin Herbert? My man folded like a lawn chair.
You want to talk about what happened with Justin Herbert's playoff game? What happened with Daniel Jones' playoff game?
Oh, but now we're talking about Daniel Jones. So what happened to you guys?
Did the Giants score touchdowns? Did the Giants score touchdowns? You're supposed to score touchdowns in
When's the last time
football.
the Redskins? I mean, my bad. When's the last time the Commanders beat the Giants?
We off the rails here. We
off the rails.
Hey,
we off the rails.
I like the quarterback conversation we had, and we're gonna revisit this one down the line, bro. Because these three quarterbacks, I seen somebody tweet not too long ago that all three of these quarterbacks will be Hall of Fame quarterbacks. That would be amazing if that happens. I think we got a chance that all these quarterbacks can be good players. We'll see, man. I'm interested to see how it plays out, man. G calling Caleb Williams a guaranteed bust, and T calling him bust proof. I can't wait to see how that trajectory goes, man. Because y'all both make a complete opposite.
I don't know if all three will be Hall of Fame quarterbacks, but whichever one gets picked second, that's the one to keep the eye on.
For you two bums.
Hey, but good stuff tonight, fellas. Y'all know how we end each and every show, man. Sports
Commanders are losers.
Culture.
Culture.